African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Simon Okelo, and I am excited to be here with you today. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Seattle, Washington. It's been a hard week. I'm a full-time father working from home. I have 3 little girls, and I live, with my wife who works away from home. My life is really all about balancing between having my entire family in Kenya and raising my own family here in the diaspora. Every day, my life is always, um, stuck between looking at the news of what's going on in Kenya and also looking at the news of what's going on here in Seattle and also the rest of the diaspora. Where I sit, it's typically easy for me to see what's going on around the world really quickly and engage in it. And also, the internet is allowing me to be able to engage with so many things that are going on around the world all at the same time. And this is part of why I am starting these daily lives. Part of the reason why I'm doing my daily lives here on YouTube is to test how my podcasting looks when it's done directly on YouTube instead of doing it, privately and then broadcasting it later. I'm preparing so that soon I'll be able to interview guests here live on my YouTube channel. And the way I'm doing that is I'm using a really nice live recording program. It's a really nice app. It's called Ecamm. It comes with Mac. It's best for Mac computers, and users of Mac computers are the best position people to use it. But you can also use it if you're using a Windows computer. There are ways that you can use it. Once I learn enough about it, I'll be able to share it with you. So every day I'll be going live. I started doing this yesterday. So whenever I go live every day, what I will be doing is, number one, to share with you an African proverb for that day, and then to just share with you my thoughts about what's going on around the world on that particular day. So today our African proverb is before you go out with a widow, you must first ask her what killed the husband. Before you go out with a widow, you must first ask her what killed her husband. So don't just be excited about the opportunity of having somebody that just lost an attachment to someone else. A lot of people, when you're married and they see you with your wife, or when you have a girlfriend and they see you with your girlfriend, they want to be you. They want to be in your place, and a lot of the time, you find that sometime an opportunity like death allows somebody who really wished to be in your place to really be in your place. So in our African culture, women are inherited. When the husbands die, other men can come into the lives of women. So in a way, this proverb warns men that, before you jump into something, think twice. But at the same time, it's also a reality check about many other things in life. For example, when you're being given a promotion at work, you need to think about who was playing this role before and why did they leave that role. This proverb can be used in that situation. If you are a child or a teenager, and you've been invited to eat something that your sibling was eating, before you eat the whole thing like a greedy fool, you should first think, why is it that I was chosen to eat this thing? And same applies to many other parts of life. And so with African proverbs, there's a video I shared here that described 6 functions of African proverbs. And as you listen to this, you'll realize that the functions of African proverbs are really important. Sometimes they're used for humor. Sometimes they're used for uh, you know uh, dissecting a very complicated situation. But sometimes they're just used for simple education and daily wisdom. So that is our proverb for today. A few things that are going on for me, especially today, is that uh, at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be a part of a virtual dance workshop that is organized by One Vibe Africa. I am the founder of One Vibe Africa, and One Vibe Africa has its own YouTube channel. It's called One Vibe TV. So at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will be live on One Vibe TV here on YouTube. So remember to subscribe to my channel here, African Father in America. But also, when you have time, check out One Vibe TV and join our virtual dance workshop, which will be happening from Kenya, but we are broadcasting it globally, and anybody around the world should actually first go to the Facebook page where we have the event. So the One Vibe Africa Facebook page, then you can join the conversation, and then you can participate in today's event. The other thing that happened to me earlier on this week on Monday is that I participated in a roundtable discussion with 4 other podcasters from around the US, who are discussing how the coronavirus pandemic has impacted podcasting here in the US. I was able to share my thoughts on that, but it was a really nice opportunity. This roundtable discussion was hosted by another podcast which is known as Pod Theory, and Pod Theory is hosted by Jason Carson. Jason Carson is the one who hosted it. So other podcasters that participated in the podcasting and COVID-19 roundtable discussion, this was episode 60 of Pod Theory, were David Rosen, host of Piercing It Together podcast, C. Peter Clow, founder of the International Podcast Alliance, Steve Sheboth, co-host of Hope Nation USA. So check it out. It's on all podcasting platforms, and I really go into details about how this African Father in America podcast was actually started as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. I just felt that I needed a way to express myself, to connect with people in a more authentic way. So, right now it's 5:15 a.m. in the morning, Seattle time, Pacific Standard Time. And before my children wake up, I'm a father of 3 little girls. Before they wake up, I just want to be able to do this live and share it with the world before the day breaks. And also, I'm just tired of editing and paying for the editing process. I think it's the best way to do it in terms of quality, but I just want to be able to live stream my podcasts, for now, because I don't have the time to be able to edit, to be able to do all the work that you typically need to do with podcasting. I think live streaming is going to eliminate a lot of the behind the scene work that podcasters used to do. So I'm also going to be doing something else weekly. I'm doing this thing called podcast and story of the week. Every week I select a podcast that I admire for that week, and I'm doing this in partnership with Good Pods. Good Pods is an amazing app. I'm working with them, closely with them. It's not a commercial sponsorship situation or anything like that, but Good Pods is an app. It's almost like Twitter or Instagram, but specifically for podcasters. So you should go to the App Store, or you should go to, the Apple App Store. You'll be able to see Good Pods, or you can check them out on Twitter. I tweet about them a lot, because what happens is, if I choose your podcast as the podcast of the week, then Good Pods team promotes your podcast for the whole week. And they do that on their platform, in their app, and they also do it on Twitter. But what's important is that increases your following on Good Pods, and it also increases my following on Good Pods. The beauty of Good Pods is that people like Kim Kardashian, people like the anchors of NPR, people from those types of platforms are also on Good Pods. You can know what they listen to, and they can also know what you listen to. So it's a really beautiful way to engage with a newer audience, and I encourage you to check it out, Good Pods. Outside of that, I'm just excited for this virtual dance workshop that is going on today on One Vibe TV. But I just want you to remember that for me, I'm going live now, not totally prepared. I don't have everything that I wanted to bring to you today, but I wanted to come just the way I am. I wanted to come just the way I am because my aim is to be consistent and not to be perfect. So remember, consistency is more important than perfection. Okay. If you are practicing for a marathon, you need to be consistent with your practice every day, not wake up one day and imagine that you're going to win the London Marathon without practicing. You have to practice a little bit every day. Sometimes you have to practice twice a day. So for me, with live streaming and content creation, what I'm doing is I go live every day, but before I go live and in the course of the day, I learn something new that I put into practice, that I test. So with Ecam Live, to be able to broadcast live to you and have a beautiful background like this took some work. It took some work, and right now, I was able to create some different scenes. I was able to add the intro and outro. Currently, I'm learning how I can even add text on the screen, how you can see comments on the screen. So these are going to be coming in the next few days. I'm using Livestream Pros. I registered for their classes, so I'm using Livestream Pros as a resource. They're such an amazing community as well. If you go to Facebook, you'll be able to, if you join them, there's an amazing community on Facebook where you can also learn more from other people who are learning how to live stream. Now, the other thing that I love to do is to just take a quick look, a bird's eye view of what's going on globally that you need to pay attention to. Number one, in Kenya, we have the BBI process going on, the Building Bridges Initiative process that is going to end up in a referendum sometime. There is a strong opposition against it, and there's also a lot of support for it. Read this document and make a wise decision. For me personally, I have not read the document. I'm in the diaspora, and a lot of the time people in the diaspora are left out of the discourse, of the conversations that are going on. The leaders in Kenya a lot of the time are afraid to face people in the diaspora because they know that people in the diaspora have a lot of integrity and will question some of their actions, but they don't want to deal with that. So they easily bully people in Kenya into doing what they want without enough consultation. So pay attention to that. Number two, in Ethiopia, there is a civil war going on. I think by now you should be aware that in the Tigray region, there's a regional, just like in the US where we have states, in Ethiopia we have regions, and these regions have some semi-autonomy that allows each region to have a representative. The problem with these regions is that each region has an ethnically picked representative because these regions are dominated by one ethnic group. So in Ethiopia, the people of Tigray are now suffering. The government is fighting with the Tigray forces, and it's also being said that Eritrean forces might have got into Ethiopia in the Tigray region and are also fighting alongside the Ethiopian forces. This is not verified information, but I want you to pay attention to what's going on in Ethiopia, and go on Twitter, connect with your Ethiopian friends, and just be able to support where you can. Just be aware. Ethiopia is a really important country in Africa. It's got the best performing airline in Africa, Ethiopian Airlines. It's got over 120 million people in their population. So it's amongst the top 5 economies in Africa and in the top 10 fastest rising economies in the world. So pay attention to that. If Ethiopia breaks apart, Kenya will definitely break apart. And here in Seattle, we will feel it because the Ethiopian community is huge here in Seattle. Lastly, I'm also looking at Twitter right now. I don't see anything new that I can share with you in the Twitter world. But I just want to say that, thank you for joining me today for this brief live. We covered the following during our short live today. We covered why it's important to be consistent and not perfect. We covered today's African proverb, which says that before you go out with a widow, you must first ask her what killed the husband. And this one is a traditional African proverb. Every day I will be sharing one traditional African proverb during my lives. Then I also just spoke about what's going on in Kenya, what's going on in Ethiopia, and here in the US, there's not a lot of news to report on besides the politics. But in general, before I close, I just want you to know that COVID-19 is really real. It's impacting a lot of people. Lately, I've been talking, it's almost as if it has impacted everybody I know. So I talk to people who are stuck at home, who are recovering, and I just want you to know that if you're still doing well and you've not been affected by it or infected by it, you should count yourself lucky and you should take good care of yourselves. Okay? So remember, subscribe to the African Father in America YouTube channel. That's here right now. Just make sure you subscribe. If anything that I said today moved you, please leave a comment below. And remember to follow me on Twitter. I am at Javan Okelo, on Twitter. And I'm also on other social media platforms, including LinkedIn, including Instagram. But I am Simon Javan Okelo on all those other platforms, including Facebook, at Simon Javan Okelo. I'm also on TikTok. So I'm just grateful for your time, and I hope you're going to take good care of yourselves. Okay? Peace and love. All right. Thank you.
African Father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African Father in